Today, we're diving into a topic that affects us all: being ignored. Whether it's in personal relationships, at work, or in social settings, being overlooked can be frustrating and disheartening. But what if I told you that the Stoics had powerful insights on how to handle these moments with grace and resilience? In this video, we'll uncover the Stoic approach to dealing with being ignored, drawing from the teachings of great philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. We'll learn how to maintain our inner peace, remain unaffected by others' indifference, and ultimately, how to turn these situations into opportunities for personal growth. So, if you've ever felt invisible or unappreciated, stick around, as this Stoic perspective might just change the way you see things. Let's get started. Number 1. Maintain dignity. Alright, so you're feeling ignored, right? It's a tough spot to be in. You're probably wondering how to deal with it without losing your cool. Well, the Stoics have some golden advice on this: maintain your dignity. This isn't just about keeping a stiff upper lip or pretending everything's fine. It's about holding on to your self-respect, no matter what. First things first, remember that your worth isn't tied to other people's opinions. Sounds cliché, but think about it. How often do we let others dictate how we feel about ourselves? It's easy to get caught up in seeking validation from others, but Stoicism teaches us to find that validation within. Picture it as building a fortress of self-worth that others can't easily shake. Sure, it takes effort, but it's so worth it. Now, let's dive deeper into what it means to maintain dignity. It's not just about standing tall and looking composed, it's about the attitude you carry. Dignity is a state of mind. It's about recognizing your intrinsic value and not letting external circumstances, like being ignored, diminish that. When you feel sidelined, take a moment to breathe and remind yourself of your own value. It's like planting your feet firmly in the ground while the winds of others' opinions blow around you. You stay unshaken. Think about how you react to being ignored. Do you lash out? Do you withdraw and sulk? Stoicism suggests a different approach. React with grace. It's like having a superpower. When others expect you to be upset or flustered, staying calm and dignified can be incredibly powerful. It's not about pretending to be unbothered, it's about genuinely cultivating a sense of inner peace and confidence. Also, maintaining dignity involves practicing restraint. It's tempting to confront those who ignore us, to demand their attention, or to show them what they're missing out on. But Stoicism encourages us to step back and choose our battles wisely. By not reacting impulsively, you show a level of self-control that is truly dignified. It's like being the eye of a storm, calm and centered, no matter how chaotic things get around you. You might be wondering, how do you actually cultivate this sense of dignity? Start with self-reflection. Spend time understanding your values and what truly matters to you. When you have a clear sense of your principles, it becomes easier to stay grounded in them, even when others don't acknowledge you. Think of it as having an internal compass that always points you in the right direction, no matter how lost you might feel externally. Another key aspect is to keep your focus on your own actions and thoughts. Epictetus, a famous Stoic, said that we should concern ourselves only with what's in our control. Being ignored? That's out of your control. How you respond? Totally within your control. By channeling your energy into what you can control, your reactions, your thoughts, your actions, you maintain a sense of agency and dignity. And here's a little secret: people notice when you carry yourself with dignity. They might not acknowledge it right away, but it leaves an impression. It's like planting seeds. Over time, others will see that you're not easily swayed by their opinions. You become a model of self-respect and inner strength. Lastly, don't forget to be kind to yourself. Maintaining dignity doesn't mean being harsh or overly critical of your own feelings. Acknowledge your emotions, but don't let them rule you. It's okay to feel hurt or disappointed, but let those feelings pass like clouds in the sky, without letting them define you. In essence, maintaining dignity when ignored is about embodying the best version of yourself, no matter what. It's about standing firm in your values, reacting with grace, and focusing on what you can control. It's a journey, not a destination, and with each step, you build a stronger, more resilient sense of self. Number 2, engage in self-improvement. When people overlook you, don't let it get under your skin. Instead, turn it into fuel for your own self-betterment. It's like this: when someone snubs you, it doesn't define your worth. You define your worth. And what better way to do that than by diving headfirst into self-improvement? Picture this: instead of wasting time pondering why you're being ignored, channel that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Start by setting some goals, small ones, big ones, whatever floats your boat. Maybe you want to get fit, pick up a new hobby, or even just read more books. Whatever it is, let it be something that excites you, something that makes you jump out of bed in the morning. Now, imagine you've got this goal, and you're working towards it bit by bit. Each day, you're making tiny improvements. It's like chiseling away at a marble block to reveal a magnificent statue. You might not see the changes overnight, but trust me, they're happening. Every push-up, every page read, every new skill learned is a step closer to the best version of you. As you're on this self-improvement journey, you'll notice something interesting. The opinions of others start to matter less and less. It's not that you become insensitive or uncaring, it's just that you're so focused on your own growth that you don't have time to worry about who's paying attention and who's not. You're in your own zone, and it feels incredible. But hey, self-improvement isn't just about setting goals and achieving them. It's also about self-reflection. Take some time to look inward. Ask yourself, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What makes you tick? Understanding yourself on a deeper level is a crucial part of this journey. It's like getting to know a close friend, only that friend is you. And don't forget about self-care. Engaging in self-improvement isn't about grinding yourself to the bone. It's about finding balance. Take care of your body, mind, and soul. Eat well, exercise, meditate, or just take a walk in nature. Treat yourself with kindness and respect. After all, how can you improve if you're constantly running on empty? As you grow and evolve, you'll start to radiate a new kind of energy. People will notice. They might still ignore you, but you'll find that it doesn't bother you as much. You'll be too busy enjoying your own company and celebrating your victories, big and small. And who knows? Maybe those who ignored you before will start to take notice. But by then, it won't matter because you'll be doing it all for yourself, not for their approval. So, next time someone overlooks you, smile to yourself and get to work. Use it as a reminder to focus on your own path, to keep improving, and to become someone you're proud of. Engage in self-improvement not to prove others wrong, but to prove to yourself just how incredible you can be. In the end, you'll find that the best kind of validation comes from within, and that's worth more than anyone else's attention. Number 3, set boundaries. Setting boundaries is like building a fence around your garden. It's not about shutting people out, but about protecting the space where you grow and flourish. When folks ignore you, it's tempting to just let things slide, hoping they'll eventually see your worth. But that's a recipe for frustration. You've got to step up and draw the lines that keep your mental garden thriving. Imagine this: your time and energy are precious commodities. If someone isn't giving you the attention or respect you deserve, it's on you to decide how much access they get to your valuable resources. This isn't about being harsh, it's about being wise. Think of it as a form of self-respect, a way to honor your own needs and priorities. You're not a bottomless well of time and energy. First, recognize what drains you. Notice those interactions that leave you feeling exhausted or undervalued. These are the areas where you need boundaries the most. Maybe it's that friend who only calls when they need something, or the coworker who monopolizes your time with gossip. Identifying these patterns is the first step toward reclaiming your peace of mind. Next, communicate clearly. This is where it gets tricky. How do you set boundaries without coming off as rude or unkind? The key is to be direct but gentle. You don't have to explain yourself excessively or apologize for needing space. A simple, "I need some time to focus on my own projects," or "I'm not available for that," works wonders. Remember, setting boundaries is about your well-being, not about controlling others. And then there's the follow-through. This is the backbone of effective boundaries. If you say you're not available after 6 p.m., don't respond to messages or emails during that time. Your actions will reinforce your words, showing others that your boundaries are firm. This consistency helps people understand that you mean what you say. Of course, some might test your boundaries, intentionally or not. They might push, prod, or try to guilt you into bending. Stay firm. Think of your boundaries as non-negotiable commitments to yourself. When you hold the line, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that your time, energy, and attention are not up for grabs. Let's talk about the emotional aspect. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to it. You might worry about coming off as aloof or uncaring. But here's a secret: true friends and respectful colleagues will understand. They'll appreciate your honesty and will adjust. Those who don't, well, they reveal their true colors. Over time, as you practice setting boundaries, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more in control, more respected, and more at ease. Your interactions will become more meaningful because they're not marred by resentment or fatigue. You'll have more energy for the things and people that truly matter. Setting boundaries is a form of self-love. It's about carving out a safe space for yourself in a world that can be overwhelming. It's about saying, "I matter, and my needs matter." When you act like this, you'll find that you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And that's a powerful place to be. In the end, setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about drawing them closer on your terms. It's about fostering relationships that are balanced, respectful, and enriching. So go ahead, build that fence. Your garden will thank you. Number 4, stay calm. Next, alright, let's talk about staying calm when you feel ignored. It's easier said than done, right? But guess what? It's totally doable, and it's a game changer. Imagine yourself as the eye of the storm. Everything around you might be chaotic, but you're just chilling, unbothered by the whirlwind. That's the kind of calm we're aiming for. First off, let's acknowledge that being ignored sucks. It's frustrating, it can hurt, and it's just plain annoying. But here's where the Stoic wisdom kicks in: you have the power to control your reactions. Yeah, you heard me right. You can't control if someone ignores you, but you can definitely control how you respond. And staying calm? It's like your secret weapon. Think of calmness as your shield. When someone ignores you, it's like they're throwing darts. Without calmness, those darts hit you, and you feel every prick. But with calmness, those darts just bounce off. They don't get to you. It's a mindset, a state of being. It's about choosing not to let external events mess with your internal peace. So, how do you get there? Start by taking a deep breath. Seriously, deep breathing is underrated. It's like hitting the reset button on your emotions. When you feel that irritation rising, pause and take a few deep breaths. Feel the air fill your lungs and then let it out slowly. It's like flushing out the stress and bringing in calm. Simple, but super effective. Next, let's talk about perspective. Stoicism teaches us to zoom out and see the bigger picture. When you're feeling ignored, it's easy to get caught up in that moment. But try to step back and look at it from a broader perspective. In the grand scheme of things, does this moment really matter? Probably not as much as it feels like it does right now. This shift in perspective can be incredibly calming. It's like realizing that the wave that seemed so huge is just a tiny ripple in the vast ocean of your life. Also, practice the art of letting go. We often get worked up because we hold on to things too tightly. Expectations, validation, attention, when we cling to these, we give them power over us. Let go of the need for others' acknowledgement. It's liberating. It's like dropping a heavy backpack you didn't even realize you were carrying. Suddenly, you're lighter, freer, calmer. Another trick? Focus on what you can control. Stoicism is big on this. You can't control others' actions, but you can control yours. Channel your energy into things you can actually change. When you shift your focus to your own actions, thoughts, and emotions, you feel more empowered. It's calming because you're not wasting energy on things beyond your control. You're investing it where it counts. And hey, don't forget self-talk. Be kind to yourself. When you feel ignored, your inner critic might go into overdrive. Quiet that voice. Replace it with a supportive, calm inner dialogue. Remind yourself of your worth. Speak to yourself like you would to a friend. This self-compassion is calming in itself. It's like having an inner cheerleader, always ready to lift you up. Lastly, find your calm center. For some, it's meditation. For others, it's a walk in nature, listening to music, or even just sitting in silence. Whatever helps you find that inner peace, make time for it. It's about creating a sanctuary within yourself that you can retreat to whenever things get tough. In a nutshell, staying calm when ignored is about controlling your reactions, shifting your perspective, letting go of unnecessary burdens, focusing on what you can control, practicing self-compassion, and finding your calm center. It's a skill, one that gets better with practice. And with time, you'll find that staying calm becomes second nature, no matter what's going on around you. Number 5, reflect on your values. So someone's giving you the cold shoulder, huh? It's tempting to react, to let your emotions take the wheel. But here's a Stoic twist: instead of getting all worked up, take a moment to reflect on your values. Trust me, it's a game changer. So, what's the deal with reflecting on your values? It's all about reconnecting with what truly matters to you. Imagine your values as the roots of a tree, keeping you grounded even when the winds of others' indifference blow hard. When you're clear on your values, you're less likely to be swayed by external stuff, like being ignored. First off, let's figure out what your values are. This isn't about what society says you should value, but what genuinely resonates with you. Is it honesty, kindness, courage, integrity? Take a moment to really think about this. Write them down if that helps. This list is your anchor, your guide when the seas get rough. Now, let's dive into how reflecting on these values can help when you're feeling ignored. When someone brushes you off, it's easy to feel hurt or insignificant. But if you're clear on your values, you can ask yourself, is my worth tied to this person's attention? Or is it tied to living in line with my values? Spoiler alert, it's the latter. Your worth is intrinsic, not dependent on external validation. Alright, so you've got your list of values. What next? When you're in a situation where you feel ignored, take a step back and reflect on those values. Ask yourself, am I living in accordance with these values right now? How can I respond in a way that aligns with what's important to me? This reflection helps you shift focus from the other person's actions to your own principles. It's like flipping a switch, suddenly, you're in control. Let's talk about inner alignment. When your actions reflect your values, you feel more authentic and less rattled by outside events. It's like wearing a suit of armor made of your own principles. Sure, you might still feel a sting when ignored, but it won't penetrate as deeply. Your values provide a sense of direction and purpose, acting as a compass that guides you through emotional turbulence. This reflection process also helps in recognizing that not everyone's actions are a reflection of you. Often, being ignored is more about the other person than it is about you. Maybe they're dealing with their own stuff. Maybe they're just not very considerate. When you reflect on your values, you remind yourself that your response is what truly matters. You can choose to act with grace and dignity, staying true to your principles. So, how do you make this reflection a habit? Start small. Each day, take a few minutes to review your values. Think about how you lived them out that day. Did you face any challenges that made it hard to stick to them? How did you respond? This daily practice strengthens your value-based mindset, making it easier to tap into when things get tough. When you're feeling ignored, instead of reacting impulsively, pause and reflect. Breathe in, think about your values, and let them guide your response. It's like having a personal coach whispering wise advice in your ear, keeping you focused and centered. Remember, reflecting on your values isn't a one-time deal. It's an ongoing process, a journey of self-discovery and growth. The more you practice it, the more naturally it will come, even in challenging situations. It's about building a strong foundation of self-awareness and integrity, so you can weather any storm with grace. In essence, reflecting on your values when ignored helps you stay true to yourself. It shifts your focus from seeking external validation to cultivating inner strength. It's about living authentically, guided by your principles, no matter what others do. And that, my friend, is the Stoic way to navigate the ups and downs of life. Number 6, understand and accept. So you're feeling ignored, and it's gnawing at you. It's tough, I get it. But instead of spiraling into a vortex of frustration, how about trying something a bit more stoic? Let's talk about understanding and accepting the situation. First off, understanding. What does that even mean in this context? It's about taking a step back and seeing the bigger picture. Maybe the person ignoring you is dealing with their own stuff. They might be stressed, preoccupied, or just not in the right headspace. It's not always about you. When you start to understand that their behavior might have more to do with them than you, it's like a weight lifting off your shoulders. Think about it. How many times have you been so wrapped up in your own world that you didn't give someone else the attention they deserved? It happens. We're all human, juggling our own worries and problems. By understanding this, you can shift your perspective from feeling slighted to feeling empathetic. It's not about excusing their behavior but about seeing it through a different lens. Now, let's move to acceptance. This is the tricky part, but also the most liberating. Acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with being ignored. It doesn't mean you have to like it. It simply means acknowledging the reality of the situation without resisting it. When you accept things as they are, you stop fighting against reality, and that's where the magic happens. Imagine this, you're in a boat on a river. If you keep paddling against the current, you'll exhaust yourself and get nowhere. But if you accept the direction of the current and go with the flow, you'll find it much easier to navigate. Acceptance is like that. It's about going with the flow of reality instead of fighting against it. So how do you practice this acceptance? Start by acknowledging your feelings. It's okay to feel hurt or frustrated. Don't push those feelings away. Let them be, but don't let them control you. Once you've acknowledged how you feel, remind yourself that you can't control others' actions, only your own responses. This shift in focus is empowering. It's like taking the reins of your own emotional state. Another key aspect of acceptance is letting go of expectations. Often, our frustration comes from unmet expectations. We expect others to act a certain way, and when they don't, we feel disappointed. By letting go of these expectations, you free yourself from this cycle of disappointment. It's about embracing what is, not what you wish it to be. And hey, acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about choosing peace over turmoil. When you accept a situation, you're not resigning yourself to a fate of being ignored forever. You're simply acknowledging the present moment and deciding not to let it ruin your peace. It's a conscious choice to maintain your inner calm, no matter what's happening outside. In the end, understanding and accepting is about finding your equilibrium. It's about realizing that you have the power to control your own emotional responses. It's about seeing the bigger picture, empathizing with others, and embracing reality as it is. When you practice understanding and acceptance, you're not just reacting to life, you're engaging with it in a thoughtful, balanced way. You're choosing to rise above the pettiness of being ignored and focusing on your own growth and peace. It's a powerful mindset shift that brings a sense of calm and resilience. So next time you feel ignored, take a deep breath. Try to understand the situation and accept it for what it is. You might just find that it bothers you a whole lot less. And that, my friend, is a beautiful thing. Number 7, move forward. You're feeling ignored. It stings, doesn't it? But guess what? Life's too short to get stuck in that rut. The Stoics have this brilliant mantra, move forward. It's all about not letting the actions, or inactions, of others hold you back. So, how do you do that? Let's dive in. First things first, let's talk about why moving forward is essential. When someone ignores you, it's easy to dwell on it. You replay the moments in your head, wondering what you did wrong, what you could have done differently. But here's the thing, dwelling on it won't change a thing. It just keeps you stuck in a loop of frustration and self-doubt. Moving forward means breaking free from that loop. Picture yourself on a path. Every time you stop to look back, you're delaying your journey. The more you look back, the more time you waste. Moving forward means keeping your eyes on the path ahead, not on what's behind you. It's about progress, not perfection. So, how do you actually move forward? Start by shifting your focus. Instead of fixating on the person who's ignoring you, turn your attention to what you can do next. What are your goals? What are your passions? Channel your energy into something productive. It's like taking all that frustration and using it as fuel for your own growth. Next, set small, achievable goals. When you're feeling ignored, it can knock your confidence. Setting and achieving small goals can help rebuild that confidence. Maybe it's learning a new skill, picking up a hobby, or working on a project you've been putting off. Each small step forward is a victory, a reminder that you're capable and resilient. And let's talk about mindset. Moving forward is as much about your attitude as it is about your actions. Embrace a growth mindset. See challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. When you're ignored, it's easy to take it personally. But a growth mindset helps you see it differently. It's not about you, it's about how you respond. Practice gratitude, too. It sounds cheesy, but it works. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it shifts your perspective. You start seeing the positives instead of fixating on the negatives. It's like sunshine breaking through the clouds. It doesn't erase the clouds, but it makes them a lot less gloomy. Another key aspect is self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up when you're feeling ignored. But self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel hurt, but it's also okay to let go and move on. Remember, moving forward doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It's important to acknowledge them, but don't let them anchor you down. Feel the emotions, process them, and then let them go. Think of it as cleaning out your mental closet. You're making space for new, positive experiences. Now, let's talk about action. Take proactive steps. Reach out to new people, explore new opportunities, and don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. The world is full of possibilities, and being ignored by one person shouldn't stop you from exploring them. It's like walking through a door that just opened, leaving the closed ones behind. Lastly, keep your long-term vision in mind. Where do you want to be in a year? 5 years? Moving forward is about keeping that vision alive. It's about taking consistent steps, no matter how small, toward that future. It's like climbing a mountain. Each step might seem insignificant, but together, they lead you to the summit. In essence, moving forward is about choosing to live your life fully, regardless of how others treat you. It's about focusing on your journey, setting goals, maintaining a positive mindset, practicing self-compassion, and taking proactive steps. It's about looking ahead with hope and determination, knowing that the best is yet to come. So, keep moving forward, and let the journey unfold. Number 8. Cultivate inner peace. When you find yourself feeling overlooked or ignored, it's easy to get wrapped up in a storm of emotions. Frustration, anger, sadness, they all come rushing in. But there's a better way to handle it: cultivate inner peace. Yep, finding that calm, serene place within yourself can make all the difference. Let's dive into how you can do that, step by step. First things first, let's talk about acceptance. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Accepting that you can't control other people's actions or thoughts is the cornerstone of inner peace. When someone ignores you, it's usually more about them than it is about you. They've got their own stuff going on. By accepting this, you free yourself from the heavy burden of taking things personally. You start to realize that your peace doesn't have to depend on their validation. Next up, breathe. Seriously, just breathe. Take a few deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Feel the tension melt away. Breathing is your body's way of hitting the reset button. It pulls you back into the present moment, away from the spiraling thoughts about why you're being ignored. Deep, mindful breathing can work wonders. Give it a shot next time you're feeling overlooked. Now, let's talk about mindfulness. This is about being present in the moment, fully experiencing whatever you're doing right now. It could be as simple as sipping a cup of tea, feeling the warmth, and savoring the flavor. Mindfulness keeps you grounded. When you're ignored, it's easy to start living in your head, creating stories and scenarios that might not even be true. Staying mindful pulls you out of that trap. You start to appreciate the little things around you, and those moments of peace start to add up. Another biggie is letting go of the need for external validation. We all crave approval to some extent, but making it the centerpiece of your happiness is a recipe for disaster. Cultivating inner peace means finding joy and contentment within yourself, regardless of what others think or do. It's about understanding that you are enough just as you are. When you stop chasing after other people's approval, you find a sense of freedom that's incredibly empowering. And then there's gratitude. Yep, that old chestnut. But seriously, taking a moment to appreciate what you have can shift your focus in a big way. When you feel ignored, it's easy to fall into a scarcity mindset, focusing on what you lack. Gratitude flips that script. Maybe you start a gratitude journal, jotting down a few things you're thankful for each day. Over time, you'll notice a shift in your perspective. Instead of dwelling on who's ignoring you, you'll start to see the abundance in your life. Let's not forget self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. If someone's ignoring you, don't beat yourself up over it. We're all human, and it's okay to feel hurt. But instead of wallowing in that hurt, treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. Maybe you take a relaxing bath, read a good book, or just give yourself permission to feel without judgment. Self-compassion is a vital part of inner peace. It's about nurturing yourself, especially when the world feels a bit harsh. Lastly, think about meditative practice. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just a few minutes each day where you sit quietly, focusing on your breath, can make a big difference. Meditation helps you build a sanctuary of calm within yourself. When you're regularly tapping into that calm, it becomes easier to remain peaceful even when external circumstances aren't ideal. So there you have it. When they ignore you, instead of getting caught up in the chaos, turn inward. Cultivate that inner peace. Accept what you can't change, breathe, practice mindfulness, let go of the need for approval, embrace gratitude, show yourself compassion, and maybe give meditation a try. You'll find that the more you nurture your inner peace, the less other people's actions will ruffle your feathers. You'll be grounded, serene, and, most importantly, at peace with yourself. Number 9. Practice detachment. When someone overlooks you, it's easy to get wrapped up in the drama. But here's a secret weapon from the Stoics: practice detachment. Yep, detachment is all about creating a little space between you and your emotions. It's not about becoming cold or indifferent, it's about finding freedom from the emotional roller coaster. Let's break it down and see how this can be your game changer. First, let's get one thing straight: detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It's more about shifting your focus from things you can't control to things you can. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. So, the next time someone ignores you, remind yourself that their actions are out of your hands. This mental shift can be incredibly liberating. Now, imagine you're watching your life like a movie. You're the observer, not just the main character. This little mental trick can help you detach. When you see yourself as an observer, you start to notice patterns and behaviors without getting swept up in them. It's like watching a storm from a safe, cozy room. The storm is there, but it's not touching you. Try this the next time you feel ignored. Step back and watch the situation as if it's on a screen. You'll find it easier to stay calm and composed. Another key to practicing detachment is setting healthy boundaries. This isn't about shutting people out, it's about protecting your peace. If someone's behavior is consistently hurtful, it's okay to take a step back. Your mental well-being comes first. Think of boundaries as a fence around your garden. You decide who gets to come in and what stays out. By setting these limits, you're creating a safe space for yourself, which makes detachment easier. Let's talk about expectations for a second. They can be tricky. We often expect others to treat us a certain way, and when they don't, it stings. Practicing detachment means letting go of those expectations. It's about embracing the idea that people will do what they do, and that's okay. The less you expect from others, the less disappointed you'll be. Instead, focus on your actions and attitudes. They're within your control, and that's where your power lies. One practical way to cultivate detachment is through meditation or mindfulness practices. These techniques train your mind to stay present and not get lost in the whirlwind of emotions. Even a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and let thoughts and feelings come and go without clinging to them. Over time, you'll find it easier to stay detached, even in challenging situations. Remember, detachment also involves acceptance. Accepting that not everyone will like you or appreciate you is part of the deal. It's not a reflection of your worth. People have their reasons for their behavior, and it's often more about them than it is about you. By accepting this, you free yourself from the need for their approval. You start to realize that your value isn't tied to others' opinions. It's rooted in who you are and how you choose to live your life. Lastly, practice gratitude. It might sound odd, but being thankful for what you have can help you detach from what you don't. When you focus on the positives in your life, the negatives, like being ignored, lose their sting. Gratitude shifts your perspective and brings a sense of peace and contentment. It's a powerful antidote to the feelings of hurt and rejection. So, next time you feel ignored, try practicing detachment. Step back, observe, set boundaries, let go of expectations, meditate, accept the situation, and focus on gratitude. It's not about shutting down your emotions, it's about not letting them control you. You'll find that detachment isn't just a way to cope, it's a path to inner freedom and resilience. And in the end, that's what really matters. Number 10, foster compassion. When you're feeling invisible, brushed aside, or outright ignored, the last thing on your mind might be fostering compassion. But stick with me here, because embracing compassion can totally flip the script on how you handle being overlooked. Let's dig into how this works and how you can make it happen in your life. First off, let's get clear on what compassion really is. It's not just about feeling sorry for someone, it's about understanding and empathy. It's about recognizing that everyone has their own struggles and that, sometimes, those struggles make them act in ways that aren't exactly kind or considerate. When someone ignores you, it's usually more about them and their issues than it is about you. Now, think about this. What if you could shift your perspective from feeling hurt to feeling curious? Instead of jumping to conclusions about why you're being ignored, what if you could pause and wonder what might be going on in that person's life? Maybe they're stressed, preoccupied, or dealing with something heavy. This shift from judgment to curiosity opens the door to compassion. Alright, so how do you start fostering this compassion thing? Start with yourself. Seriously, be kind to yourself first. Acknowledge your feelings. Yes, it hurts to be ignored. It's okay to feel that way. But don't stop there. Give yourself a mental hug. Remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to someone else's attention. By nurturing self-compassion, you create a solid foundation to extend that same kindness to others. Next, try this little exercise. Whenever you feel slighted, take a deep breath and silently wish the person well. It might feel a bit odd at first, but it's incredibly powerful. Say something like, "I hope they find peace," or "I wish them well." This simple act shifts your focus from your own hurt to a more generous, empathetic stance. It's like a mini reset button for your emotions. Also, practice active listening when you do interact with others. When someone speaks to you, give them your full attention. This might seem like it has nothing to do with being ignored, but it actually does. By being fully present with others, you cultivate a habit of understanding and empathy. You're training yourself to be more compassionate, which in turn makes it easier to handle those moments when you're the one feeling overlooked. Let's not forget about gratitude. Yeah, gratitude again. It's a biggie. When you're feeling ignored, take a moment to list a few things you're grateful for. It could be anything: a sunny day, a good cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend. Shifting your focus to what you appreciate in life helps balance out the negative emotions. It's hard to feel both grateful and hurt at the same time. Gratitude fosters a positive mindset, making it easier to extend compassion to others. Remember, fostering compassion doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It's not about excusing bad behavior. It's about understanding that everyone has their own battles and choosing not to take their actions personally. You can still set boundaries and stand up for yourself while being compassionate. In fact, compassion often makes those boundaries clearer and healthier. Lastly, surround yourself with positive influences. Engage with people who lift you up, who inspire you, who show compassion themselves. This environment nurtures your ability to be compassionate. It's like planting yourself in rich, fertile soil. You grow stronger and more resilient. So, the next time you're feeling ignored, try fostering compassion. Start with self-compassion, then extend that kindness outward. Be curious, practice active listening, wish others well, and embrace gratitude. You'll find that compassion isn't just a way to handle being ignored, it's a way to transform your entire outlook on life. And who knows? You might even inspire a little more kindness in the world around you. Number 11, seek mentorship. When you're feeling brushed aside or ignored, it can be a real bummer. But here's a tip straight from the Stoics: seek mentorship. This isn't just about finding someone to give you advice, it's about connecting with someone who can help you grow and see things from a new perspective. Let's dive into why seeking mentorship can be a game changer and how to go about it in a way that feels natural and empowering. First things first, let's talk about why mentorship matters. When you're feeling overlooked, it's easy to get stuck in your own head, replaying the same thoughts and worries over and over. A mentor can break that cycle. They offer fresh insights and a different viewpoint that can help you see your situation more clearly. It's like having a guide who's been through the same rough waters and knows where the safe harbors are. Now, finding a mentor isn't just about picking the first person you see who seems successful. It's about finding someone whose values and experiences resonate with you. Look for someone who embodies qualities you admire, someone who's been where you are and has navigated through it. This connection should feel genuine, not forced. It's less about their title or status and more about their journey and wisdom. So, how do you go about finding a mentor? Start by looking within your own circle. Is there someone at work, in your community, or even a friend of a friend who you respect and feel comfortable approaching? If no one comes to mind, broaden your search. Online communities, professional organizations, and social media platforms can be great places to find potential mentors. Don't be afraid to reach out. Most people are flattered when asked for guidance and happy to share their experiences. When you do find a potential mentor, approach them with respect and authenticity. You're not asking them to solve your problems or make decisions for you. Instead, you're seeking their perspective and advice. Be clear about what you're looking for and why you think they'd be a good fit. A simple, honest request can go a long way. Something like, "I admire your journey and would love to hear more about how you navigated similar challenges," can open the door to a meaningful conversation. Once you've connected with a mentor, be proactive in maintaining that relationship. Show appreciation for their time and insights. Ask thoughtful questions and be genuinely interested in their experiences. Remember, this is a two-way street. While you're learning from them, they're also gaining from the opportunity to reflect on their own journey and share their wisdom. Mentorship isn't just about the big, life-changing advice either. Sometimes, the smallest insights can make the biggest difference. Maybe your mentor shares a book that changed their perspective, or a mantra that keeps them grounded. These little nuggets of wisdom can be incredibly valuable and help you see things in a new light. Another key point is to stay open and flexible. Your mentor might challenge you, push you out of your comfort zone, or suggest ideas you hadn't considered. Embrace this. Growth often happens outside of our comfort zones. Trust that your mentor has your best interests at heart and be willing to explore new paths and perspectives. Lastly, remember that mentorship is a journey, not a destination. It's about ongoing growth and learning. As you evolve, your needs and goals might change, and that's okay. Stay in touch with your mentor, keep them updated on your progress, and continue to seek their guidance as you navigate new challenges and opportunities. In the end, seeking mentorship when you feel ignored isn't just about finding someone to lean on. It's about empowering yourself with new tools, perspectives, and support to navigate life's ups and downs. It's about building a relationship that helps you grow, both personally and professionally. So, next time you're feeling overlooked, reach out, connect, and let the wisdom of a mentor guide you towards a brighter, more confident future. Number 12, invest in new relationships. So, you're feeling overlooked, ignored, maybe even a bit invisible. It stings, doesn't it? But here's the deal, instead of stewing in that funk, why not channel that energy into building new connections? Trust me, it's a game changer. Picture this, You're planting seeds in a fresh, fertile garden. Some won't sprout, and that's okay. The ones that do, though, they can bloom into the most unexpected and vibrant friendships or networks. Let's dive into it. First, shake off that doubt. You're worth knowing, and you have so much to offer. The world is full of people who are just waiting to meet someone like you. Sounds cliché, right? But it's true. Everyone's got their tribe out there. Maybe yours is just around the corner, or one conversation away. Don't let the fear of being ignored by some stop you from being discovered by others. Now, how do you go about this? Start with a clean slate and an open mind. This is your chance to redefine your social landscape. Maybe you've been stuck in the same circles, doing the same old things, getting the same results. Mix it up. Try new activities, join new groups, attend different events. When you step out of your comfort zone, you open up to a world of possibilities. You might find people who share your interests, values, and zest for life. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's not just about meeting new people, it's about investing in these budding relationships. And investment, as we know, requires time, effort, and a bit of courage. Don't just show up, engage. Ask questions, share stories, and most importantly, listen. Really listen. People can tell when you're genuinely interested. And when you are, they'll be more inclined to reciprocate. Here's a fun fact: people love to talk about themselves. Use that to your advantage. Be curious. Show them that you value their experiences and perspectives. This isn't about flattery, it's about building authentic connections. And authenticity, my friend, is a magnet. When you're real, people sense it and respond in kind. Speaking of being real, let's address the elephant in the room: vulnerability. It's scary to put yourself out there, especially when you've been burned by indifference before. But here's the kicker: vulnerability is the secret sauce of meaningful relationships. It's what transforms acquaintances into friends. Share a bit of yourself. Your hopes, your fears, your dreams. It's like giving someone a key to your world. If they step in and make themselves at home, you've got a keeper. And hey, not every seed you plant will grow. Some might fizzle out, and that's perfectly fine. Don't take it personally. Remember, not every connection is meant to last forever. Some are just stepping stones, others learning experiences. Keep your heart and mind open, and keep planting those seeds. Also, consider the quality of your interactions. It's not about how many people you meet, but the depth of the connections you make. A handful of genuine relationships can be far more fulfilling than a multitude of shallow ones. So, aim for depth. Seek out those who challenge you, inspire you, and make you laugh. People who bring out the best in you and whom you can be your true self with. Lastly, patience is key. Building new relationships doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, sometimes slow and gradual, but oh so worth it. Stay positive, keep showing up, and be consistent. Over time, you'll find that those initial efforts blossom into rich, rewarding relationships. So, go ahead. Invest in new relationships. It's one of the best ways to counteract the sting of being ignored. Instead of dwelling on those who overlook you, focus on discovering those who see your value. Your social garden will flourish, and you'll find yourself surrounded by the vibrant, nourishing connections you deserve. Number 13, let go of control. Alright, so you've been giving it your all, putting yourself out there, and yet, crickets. Radio silence. It's frustrating, right? But here's a Stoic twist: let go of control. Yep, just let it go. Sounds counterintuitive, but stick with me. Think of control like sand slipping through your fingers. The tighter you grip, the faster it escapes. People's actions, Their attention, their reactions, they're all outside your grasp. You can't force someone to notice you, to appreciate you, to respond to you. And honestly, would you even want that kind of fake, forced interaction? Probably not. Now, imagine you're sailing on a vast ocean. You can't control the waves or the wind. You can only adjust your sails. Your thoughts, actions, and reactions, these are your sails. When people ignore you, it's easy to get caught up in trying to change their behavior. But let's face it, you're not a puppeteer pulling strings. You're a sailor navigating your own ship. So, what does letting go look like? It starts with a shift in mindset. Instead of obsessing over how others respond, focus on what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your peace of mind. When you release the need to control others, you free up a ton of mental space. You stop wasting energy on the impossible and start investing it in the possible. Now, let's talk about that internal dialogue. You know, that voice in your head that's constantly analyzing and overthinking. Silence it. Easier said than done, right? But with practice, it's doable. When that voice starts up, remind yourself, this is outside my control. It's a mental reset button. It shifts your focus from external chaos to internal calm. Speaking of calm, meditation can be your best friend here. Spend a few minutes each day just breathing and being. No expectations, no judgments. Just presence. It's a powerful way to practice letting go. When your mind drifts to those who ignore you, gently bring it back to your breath. It's a simple yet profound practice of regaining control over your inner world. And let's not forget about acceptance. Embrace the fact that not everyone will see your worth. And that's okay. You are not defined by others' perceptions. Your value is intrinsic, not dependent on external validation. When you accept this, you find a sense of freedom. It's like taking off a heavy backpack you didn't realize you were carrying. Also, consider the impact of letting go on your overall well-being. Stress, anxiety, frustration, they all stem from a desire to control the uncontrollable. By releasing that need, you reduce these negative emotions. You create space for peace, joy, and contentment. Life becomes less about wrestling with external forces and more about flowing with the current. In your interactions, practice detachment. Be present, be engaged, but don't cling to outcomes. Offer your time, your words, your kindness, and then step back. Let things unfold naturally. If someone responds positively, great. If not, that's fine too. Your sense of self remains intact either way. Ultimately, letting go of control is about trusting the process. Trust that things will unfold as they should. Trust that you'll attract the right people and opportunities. Trust that your worth isn't tied to external validation. It's about embracing uncertainty with grace and confidence. So next time you feel ignored, remind yourself, I cannot control others, but I can control my response. Let that be your mantra. Sail through the storm with steady hands on your sails, knowing that you're navigating your own course. And remember, sometimes the most profound strength comes from knowing when to let go. Number 14, seek understanding. So, they're giving you the cold shoulder, huh? That can sting. It's easy to jump to conclusions, to let your mind spiral into a vortex of self-doubt and irritation. But here's where the Stoic wisdom kicks in: seek understanding. Instead of letting those negative thoughts take over, dive into the curiosity pool. What's really going on here? First off, pause. Breathe. Don't let the initial wave of emotions drown you. When people ignore you, it's natural to feel a pang of rejection. But often, it's not about you at all. There could be 1,000 reasons behind their silence, and most of them have nothing to do with your worth or actions. Maybe they're swamped with their own issues. Maybe they're lost in their thoughts, dealing with something heavy. Or maybe, just maybe, they didn't even realize they were ignoring you. Start with empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Imagine what they might be going through. This isn't about excusing rude behavior, it's about gaining perspective. When you shift from judgment to curiosity, the whole vibe changes. You're no longer a victim of their indifference, you're a detective, uncovering the hidden layers of human behavior. Next, consider the context. What's been happening in their life? Have there been any major changes, stressors, or distractions? People aren't always great at communicating their struggles. Sometimes, their silence is a scream for help. By seeking to understand, you transform the situation from one of personal offense to one of compassionate inquiry. Communication is key. If the silence bothers you, approach it with openness. Ask gentle, non-confrontational questions. Hey, I've noticed we haven't talked much lately. Is everything okay? This shows you care without being accusatory. It opens the door for honest dialogue. They might appreciate your concern and share what's been on their mind. Or they might not be ready to talk, and that's okay too. The point is, you've reached out with kindness, not judgment. And then there's the art of listening. If they do open up, really listen. Don't just hear words, tune into the emotions behind them. Show empathy and validate their feelings. Sometimes, people just need to feel seen and heard. Your understanding can be a balm for their soul, and it can deepen your connection in unexpected ways. But let's not sugarcoat it. Sometimes, despite your best efforts to understand, people will still ignore you. And that's their choice, their journey. What you can control is how you respond. Instead of stewing in resentment, accept that not every relationship will go the way you want. Some people are meant to be fleeting presences in your life, teaching you lessons about patience, empathy, and self-worth. Seeking understanding also means looking inward. Reflect on your own actions and behaviors. Are there patterns in your interactions that might contribute to the situation? This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about honest self-assessment. Growth often comes from these moments of introspection. Maybe there's something you can adjust, a way to communicate more effectively, or boundaries to set more clearly. Lastly, remember that seeking understanding is a continuous process. It's not a one-time thing but a mindset. Cultivate it daily. Be curious about others' experiences and motivations. Embrace the complexities of human behavior with an open heart and mind. This approach not only helps you deal with being ignored but enriches all your relationships. So, the next time someone seems to be giving you the silent treatment, take a step back. Pause. Seek to understand before jumping to conclusions. Approach the situation with empathy, communicate openly, and listen deeply. And if, after all that, you're still met with silence, accept it with grace. You've done your part. The rest is out of your hands. By seeking understanding, you've already taken the higher path, one that leads to greater peace and wisdom. Number 15, focus on physical health. So, you've been ghosted, left on read, or just plain ignored. It stings, doesn't it? But instead of spiraling into a pit of despair, why not flip the script? Use this as a golden opportunity to focus on something that you can control, your physical health. Trust me, it's a win-win. You feel better, look better, and your mind gets a much-needed break from all the overthinking. First things first, let's talk about exercise. Moving your body is like hitting the reset button on your brain. Whether it's a quick jog, an intense HIIT session, or a peaceful yoga class, getting your blood pumping can do wonders for your mood. Those endorphins are no joke, they're nature's way of giving you a big, comforting hug. Plus, focusing on physical challenges can distract you from the emotional turmoil. It's hard to dwell on someone's silence when you're trying to hold a plank for just 10 more seconds. Mix it up. Don't stick to one routine. Try new workouts, explore different sports, or even dance around your living room to your favorite tunes. The goal is to keep your body guessing and your mind engaged. This variety not only keeps things interesting but also ensures you're working out different muscle groups, promoting overall fitness. It's like giving your body a buffet of health benefits. Now, let's not forget about what you're putting into your body. Nutrition plays a massive role in how you feel. When you eat well, you feel well. Simple as that. So, load up on those veggies, fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains. It's not about dieting or deprivation, it's about nourishing your body with what it needs to thrive. Think of it as self-love on a plate. And hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Water is your best friend. It keeps everything running smoothly, from your skin to your digestion. Plus, staying hydrated can help keep headaches and fatigue at bay, which is crucial when you're already feeling down. So, grab that fancy water bottle and make sipping a habit. Sleep, don't underestimate it. Your body repairs and rejuvenates itself while you snooze. Lack of sleep can amplify negative emotions and make you more sensitive to stress. Aim for those golden 7 to 9 hours a night. Create a bedtime routine that signals to your body it's time to wind down. Maybe it's a warm bath, some light reading, or a few minutes of meditation. Find what works for you and stick to it. Speaking of meditation, let's dive into the mind-body connection. Practicing mindfulness can help you stay present and reduce anxiety. It's like giving your brain a spa day. Start with just a few minutes a day. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will gently bring it back. This simple practice can make a huge difference in how you handle being ignored. And hey, let's not forget about pampering yourself. Treat your body to some TLC. Maybe it's a massage, a long soak in the tub, or simply stretching out those tight muscles. Taking care of your physical self sends a powerful message to your mind: you matter. You're worth the effort. Incorporate physical activity into your daily routine. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, walk or bike instead of driving, and stand up and stretch during work breaks. These small changes add up and keep you moving throughout the day. Finally, remember that focusing on your physical health isn't just a distraction, it's a foundation for resilience. When your body feels strong, your mind follows suit. You're better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way, including being ignored. You become more grounded, more centered, and more confident. And who knows? Along this journey, you might even discover a passion for fitness or a new favorite healthy recipe. So, next time someone's indifference starts to get under your skin, lace up those sneakers, grab a smoothie, and hit the reset button on your health. You've got this. Your body and mind will thank you. As we wrap up this journey through the Stoic approach to being ignored, remember that your response to others' indifference is a testament to your inner strength and wisdom. By staying composed, focusing on your own values, and not letting external validation dictate your self-worth, you embody the principles of Stoicism. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from this perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Leave a comment below sharing your own experiences and how you've handled being ignored. Your stories can inspire and support others in our community. And as always, keep striving for inner peace and resilience. Until next time, stay strong and stay stoic.